This is Manhattan, a city of dreams, of ambition, and of secrets. In an unassuming Wall Street apartment, a couple lived what seemed like a modern fairy tale. He, a tech entrepreneur. She, a rapper, a Forbes contributor, an influencer who went by the name Razzlecon. But behind the social media posts and the bizarre music videos, Ilya Lichtenstein and Heather Morgan were guarding one of the biggest secrets in financial history. It's a secret worth billions. This isn't just a story about a crypto hack. It's a story of love, ambition, and a digital ghost that would come back to haunt them. It's the story of the Bitfinex hack and how two of the most unlikely characters became the faces of the largest financial seizure in U.S. history. Our story begins not in New York, but in the chaotic, high-stakes world of cryptocurrency in 2016. Bitfinex, one of the largest and most influential crypto exchanges at the time, was a digital fortress. It held the assets of traders and believers from around the globe, a treasure trove of Bitcoin in the tens of millions of dollars. But on August 2nd, 2016, a crack appeared in the fortress. A sophisticated hacker exploited a vulnerability in Bitfinex's security system, queuing over 2,000 unauthorized transactions. In a matter of hours, the digital vault was plundered. Nearly 120,000 Bitcoin, worth about $71 million at the time, vanished into the digital ether. The crypto community was thrown into chaos. It was a devastating blow, a brutal reminder of the Wild West nature of the market. For the victims, it was a financial catastrophe. For Bitfinex, it was a fight for survival. For the world, it was one of the biggest crypto heists ever seen. The trail went cold almost immediately. The stolen funds were scattered across thousands of wallets, a complex web designed to be untraceable. For years, the case remained a ghost story, a legend whispered in online forums. The stolen Bitcoin, now a sleeping giant, lay dormant. Then, 6 years later, on a cold February morning in 2022, the ghost story came roaring back to life. Federal agents descended on that Wall Street apartment, arresting a couple that seemed more eccentric than criminal. Ilya Lichtenstein, a dual Russian-American citizen who described himself as a tech entrepreneur, and his wife, Heather Morgan, the self-proclaimed crocodile of Wall Street, were taken into custody. The charge? Conspiring to launder cryptocurrency linked directly to the 2016 Bitfinex hack. The sleeping giant had a name, and it was worth an astonishing $4.5 billion. The world was stunned. How could this quirky couple, known for cringeworthy rap videos and surreal social media personas, be the masterminds behind such a massive crime? The answer didn't lie in their public lives, but in the silent, immutable record of the blockchain. This is where the crash of their carefully constructed world begins. The core principle of their plan relied on a common misconception, that Bitcoin is anonymous. It's not. It's pseudonymous. Every single transaction from the moment a coin is mined is recorded on a public, unchangeable ledger, the blockchain. While your real name isn't attached, your wallet address is. And if that address can ever be linked to you, your entire financial history on the blockchain is exposed. The FBI, along with specialized blockchain analysts, have been playing a long, patient game, and they were digital archaeologists, dusting off the fingerprints left on the blockchain. For years, Lichtenstein had allegedly employed a sophisticated laundering technique called chain hopping. He would move tiny fractions of the stolen Bitcoin through a dizzying maze of transactions, splitting and merging funds across thousands of new wallets. The goal was to sever the link to the original hack, to make the money appear clean. He used darknet markets like Alphabay, converting Bitcoin into other more privacy-focused cryptocurrencies, a process known as mixing. It was a painstaking, meticulous effort to wash the digital stain off of billions of dollars. But the laundering wasn't perfect. It was the small, seemingly insignificant drips that eventually caused the dam to break. The couple's first major mistake was underestimating the tenacity of federal investigators. Agents from the IRS Criminal Investigations Cybercrimes Unit are experts at following digital money. They used advanced blockchain analysis software to visually map the flow of the stolen funds. It was like connecting a million dots, but they had the time and the resources. They watched as small amounts of the laundered crypto were periodically cashed out, and this is how the real world began to bleed into their digital fortress. Small amounts of the stolen funds were used to buy mundane things: gold coins delivered to their home, PlayStation, an Uber ride. But the most damning purchase of all was a $500 Walmart gift card. Investigators were able to trace the laundered funds to a specific crypto exchange account. That account was used to purchase the gift card, which was then redeemed under Heather Morgan's name. It was a tiny thread, but it was all investigators needed. The final nail in the coffin came from a cloud storage account. Investigators obtained a search warrant for an online account controlled by Liechtenstein. Hidden in that digital folder, they found the Holy Grail, a file containing the private keys to over 2,000 cryptocurrency addresses. When they tested the keys, they unlocked wallets containing the vast majority of the still unlaundered Bitcoin from the Bitfinex hack over 94,000 BTC, worth $3.6 billion at the time of the seizure. He had kept the keys to the kingdom in a spreadsheet in the cloud. It was a catastrophic failure in operational security, a digital Achilles heel. The empire they had built in the shadows came crashing down, not with a bang, but with a login and a password. So what can we learn from this incredible story? This wasn't a case of a flawed market or a bad investment. This was a story of crime, but the psychology and the mistakes in their risk management offer powerful lessons for everyone in the digital age. Whether you're an investor or just a user of the internet. The first lesson is the central theme of this whole saga. There is no absolute anonymity on the blockchain. The idea of crypto as a perfect tool for untraceable transactions is a myth. Public ledgers like Bitcoins are just that public. Every transaction is a permanent breadcrumb. For legitimate users, this transparency is a feature, providing auditable proof of transactions. But for those trying to hide, it's a ticking time bomb. The tools for tracing these transactions are becoming more powerful every day. Never assume your actions are invisible. The second mistake was a lethal combination of hubris and poor operational security. Liechtenstein was clearly intelligent, capable of designing a complex laundering scheme. But this intelligence may have bred overconfidence. The belief that he was smarter than everyone else, that his digital maze was too complex to unravel, led to carelessness. Storing the private keys to billions of dollars in a cloud account is the digital equivalent of writing your bank password on a sticky note and leaving it on your desk. For any crypto user, the lesson is paramount. Not your keys, not your coins. You must be the sole guardian of your private keys. Store them offline, in a cold wallet, or on a hardware device. Never in an email, never in the cloud, never anywhere a hacker or a federal agent could find them. Finally, we see the danger of the drip. The couple attempted to launder and spend the money in tiny, seemingly insignificant amounts over a long period. They likely believed these small transactions would fly under the radar. But in the world of forensic analysis, there is no such thing as an insignificant transaction. Each small cash out, each gift card purchase, was another data point, another thread for investigators to pull. It shows that even the most patient criminal strategy can be undone by a single careless link to the real world. For investors, this is a lesson in diligence. Every action you take, every platform you use, leaves a digital footprint. Understanding that footprint is a crucial part of managing your own security and risk in the digital asset space. The saga of the Bitfinex hack is more than just a true crime thriller. It's a defining moment in the history of cryptocurrency, a stark reminder that in the digital world, the past is never truly buried. The blockchain doesn't forget. And as Ilya Liechtenstein and Heather Morgan discovered, sooner or later, it will always find a way to tell its story.